reasons why you should keep Haaland. I want to bring that Haaland positivity, the good vibes, the Haaland good vibes. We're going to talk about the mid-price forwards. We focus so much on the cheap forwards recently and not enough attention to the slightly more expensive ones. So this is every forward from 6.5 million up to, well, Watkins at 9 point, what is Watkins? 9.1, 9 point something. Whatever Watkins is.
No idea.
9.0. So, no, exactly. So, yeah, looking through the last 6 game weeks worth of data per start, and we see a very clear trend of Isak putting up the best numbers. He is the guy on it the most at the moment. 0.68 XG per game, which is really, really nice there. Little bit of creativity there as well. 0.14 expected assists. But yeah, leads the way in expected goals in this category of players in this period of time, and actually up there for expected assists as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say second for expected assists.
There you go. Third. Third after Havertz and Cunha.
Didn't see Cunha.
Yeah. So again, more stats that favour him. Shots on target, 2.25. Shots in the box, 3. Big chances, 1.75 per game. That's crazy, by the way. Almost 2 big chances per game is nuts.
Yeah.
So and he's the talisman of his team. He's nailed on. He's on penalties as well, which are a surprisingly few amount of these players are on penalties. Considering these are the most expensive forwards in the game outside of Haaland. And, you know, in this subset of players, only Isak, Cunha, Wood, and maybe Watkins?
Not Watkins, but maybe Solanke.
Son.
Second, I guess. But Watkins would be second too, wouldn't he?
Well, it depends who's on the pitch. Tillemans, I think, is a good shout for a penalty taker for Aston Villa, but ultimately we don't know the answer to
Watkins
this one.
has just never been a confident penalty taker.
No, and he's not a particularly good penalty taker. So even if he does take a penalty, that doesn't mean you're getting points.
I remember that run where he just kept missing.
Yeah,
it was a couple of seasons ago.
It was like 3 penalties in a row.
Diogo Costa started taking it.
Before the manager said, right, okay,
it's enough. I've had it.
We appreciate your goals from open play, but the penalties are just not your bag.
Yeah.
You've got many other skills. Penalties is not one of them, unfortunately. So
Get to running.
just get ready for the rebound, by all means. You're good at that. Little poacher. Nice.
Oh, my God.
But do not take the penalty, my friend. But yeah, after Isak, the second best numbers in this past 6 game weeks is actually Solanke, who unfortunately just has some rough fixtures. City, Fulham, Bournemouth, Chelsea in the next 4. It's not great. We've got Southampton in 16, but then even after that, Liverpool and then Forest away. So Spurs players in general, I think some Spurs players like Son can thrive in difficult fixtures, but I don't know if Solanke is necessarily that guy. I think we've seen before that he can often drop quite deep in the difficult situations against tougher teams. So while Solanke has put up good numbers, I think a lot of that was that Aston Villa game.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why does Mateta have expected points of 0 despite having XG and XA? Sorry, not XA, but XG.
I don't know. I actually don't know. It might be a bug. Or it might be, I don't know. I may have messed up on the graphic, to be fair.
And Haaland has expected points of 0.2.
Yeah. Could it be related to like them being benched in sub appearances or yellow cards or that? Sim, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. I throw the graphics on screen. I don't really question them too much. And
you have to question the data.
Yeah, I question the other data, like how many shots has the player taken. But yeah, after Solanke, we see Havertz in there. Could we see him improve with Ødegaard back?
Havertz is interesting to me, and a lot of people aren't picking him. I feel like as a differential, he's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine.
The only problem is I would prefer Jackson, and I would prefer Isak.
Yes. So he's maybe
I mean?
just a, unfortunate situation where there's just better options.
Yeah.
Rather than him being a bad option. Yeah, Havertz coming in third with those underlying data. After that, Jackson, you just mentioned Jackson. A lot of people looking at him for some really nice fixtures coming up. His data is down. And he's missed a few chances recently as well.
Well, we know that, right? And the fixtures have been rough over the last 4.
They have.
So Jackson's a volume player. You're not expecting him to. If Jackson's data is bad, then it's a bit more concerning. granted, fixtures have been a little bit trickier.
Of course.
We expected them to perform better against, the likes of Newcastles and Uniteds, but they didn't. But yeah, I still think Jackson is the second best premium mid-priced player on the list.
I agree, and that would be fixture based, and obviously fixtures do skew data to a degree. But I also think it's important that we look at last 6 game weeks data, because you think you get a better idea of form from something like this. After that is Cunha, Mr. Overperformer, Mr. Scores from 0.02 xg. But to be fair, for me, Cunha's data is not amazing. It's really nothing special. There's a lot of 5.5 to 6 million forwards that will have better data than Cunha. The thing is with him is he's one of those players who, if you get points from him, you might get lucky with those points. But he's a player who puts himself in the position to be lucky. When you're a guy who takes these shots from long range, when you're a guy who takes the corners, takes a free kick here and there, takes a penalty, yes, you get lucky with his points, but he is the player who's consistently in those positions to be lucky.
Yeah. And for me, he's very influential.
Exactly.
When you watch him play, I mean, it's a bit of a sort of condemning and damning stat that he's had 0 big chances in the last 6 matches.
Yeah.
But he's so involved, and that XA tells that story, right?
Yeah, he's the number one for creative data among the forwards.
Yeah, and obviously he's playing second striker at the moment. I don't love him, but I think he's decent. I think there's probably, we're now at a point where there's better cheap options, and Cunha for me falls into the cheap category, but he's still decent. I think he's such a talent, and when you watch him play, he plays so well. He's so sort of string pulling.
Yeah, for sure.
That you think there's always points afoot.
Yeah, and I think for me, Cunha is not a player I would look to buy this week away against Fulham. After that, Bournemouth at home, it's okay. It's nothing special. After that, Everton away, who are, I've mentioned this before on the pod, they are on an upward trajectory for defensive data. They're up to mid-table now for defensive data for the whole season.
Yeah.
They were sitting at 17th, 18th a few weeks ago. So they're on a real nice trajectory for defensive data. I think within the next few weeks, we won't be considering Everton, particularly away from home, to be a good fixture anymore. Or maybe that'll fall into a middling fixture. After that, 15 West Ham, 16 Ipswich, 17 Leicester. Great fixtures. Phenomenal. I don't think anyone's denying that. But if you were to buy Cunha, you should have done it last week or the week before. If you're buying him now, you're probably too late. Unless you're on a wild card and you just want to get him in ready for those really nice fixtures, because he can definitely nick something in the next few. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nowhere near calling him a bad pick at the moment. I think he's still a good pick. He's just not a great pick now.
Right, this very game week. Yeah. Next week, he'll be slightly better because we would have had Fulham out the way. The week after that, even better because we'll be even closer to those nice fixtures. But they do get Wolves' fixtures, by the way. You know what? We all speak about Wolves having this amazing run of fixtures. From game week 18, it's a horror show for months. Listen.
Months. That's crazy.
Right. He plays pretty much all of the toughest defences in the league all in a row. So from 18, which is the 26th of December, Man United, Spurs, Forest, Newcastle away, Chelsea, Arsenal, Villa, Liverpool, and then Bournemouth again, and then Fulham again. Wow. So that's pretty much the entire top half of the table, all in a row in a space of 10 game weeks, which is nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, if you are buying Wolves players, put in a place to sell them at that point.
Yeah. A lot of eight Norris going bye-bye at that point.
He's going to drop down to 4.2 million in price of the max exodus of Ait Nori.
And that's when he'll start scoring again.
Yeah, probably. Probably, to be fair. But yeah, the final player, there's a couple other players on here. The final other player that I think is worth a bit of discussion is probably Watkins. Actually, to be fair, there's a few on here probably worth some discussion. So yeah, the list so far, Isak at the top for the data, then Solanke, Havertz, Jackson, Cunha, and then Watkins below Cunha. Horror show. He is badly off it at the moment. Yeah. Even with the fixtures turning, I don't think you go there.
Yeah, his creativity's taken a hit, right? And this was something that was being flagged at the start of the season.
Yeah.
His creativity, like he had 5 XA last season, the whole season.
Yeah, and he got
picked-
18 assists.
Yeah, 18.
18 assists from 4.02 XA last season.
18.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was never
Yeah.
sustainable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I see it now. Was in disagreement with it at the start of the season, but I see it now. Yeah, it's just not looking. It's just really not looking good at the moment over there, and he's expensive.
Yeah, 9 million, one attacking return in 5 game weeks, which was a goal against Fulham, and his minutes are seemingly less secure than ever.
Yeah.
Subbed at 64 minutes against Liverpool. Like, Duran is breathing down his neck because Duran is a fantastic forward. And if Watkins is out of form, Duran is going to be demanding some minutes there.
Yeah.
And it will happen, particularly with some of the midweek games coming up. It will happen. So, Watkins, for the price you pay, yes, the fixtures are turning good, but fixtures without form is like, I don't know, you're pretty good with analogies. What's fixture without form like?
Fixtures without form is like a water slide without water.
Hey, I like that. That's very good. It sounds very fun, but you get on there.
But you're going to get burnt.
You're going to get a burnt bum.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's Ollie Watkins for you. A burnt bum. If you want a burnt bum, get yourself an Ollie Watkins. It's a fire sale right now. But yeah, no, I think with the data down and Isak with his rising to prominence, Jackson, even in a rough run of fixtures, is still outperforming Jackson. And Jackson's fixtures are just as good, if not better, than Watkins as well.
Isn't Rodgers outperforming Watkins right now?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bit crazy over there.
Yeah. Other players on this list, Wood, bad fixtures, Arsenal up next. You ain't going to buy Wood in Game Week 12. Let's be real.
Yeah, no.
13.
The question is, do you sell
I don't think so. With Ipswich in 13, I don't think you do.
City and Arsenal in the next 3?
Yeah, but Arsenal and Ipswich in the next 2. Sell them after 13. Sell them in 14.
There's a certain Alexander who's available and has a great fixture coming up.
Alexander Isak.
Yes.
If you can afford to bridge the gap, then yeah, I feel it. But it would only probably be for Isak or Jackson. I don't think I would downgrade Wood. I wouldn't do like a Wood to Raul Jimenez or something, or a Wood to João Pedro. I just ride out this week and take the Ipswich one. Mateta's on there. I don't think this is worth talking about. And Haaland, bottom for data.
Well, I mean, has he been playing?
Has Haaland been playing? Yes, I mean, he's been playing.
He's got expected points of 0.2 in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know why it says that.
And he's achieved 3 points. So he must not be playing.
He is playing. He's not playing very well.
He's got 3 points in the last 6 game weeks.
No, No. He's got 3.13 average points per game week. Because per start, right?
Yeah, no, my brain did a little bit of a poo-poo there. So he's been playing over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, and he's been averaging 3 points per game week.
Why is his expected points 0?
I don't know, Sim. There's clearly been a bug, or I've entered the graphic wrong. You're just going to have to get over it.
I can't. I don't think I can move past this.
All right, well, we'll move past this right now by skipping to the next slide, to be fair. But final word on Haaland. Buy him at your own risk.
I can't do it.
We're gonna
I can't.
Just do it. Close your eyes.
I tried.
Close your eyes right now. Look at me. Just stare at me.
Okay.
All right, Haaland is a bad pick. Not because of whatever's on screen right now, but because he's proven nothing. Hyperventilating in the studio right now. All right, let's move on. Come on. Sim's about to have a panic attack. So let's do our weekly Haaland chat. Okay, I want to reframe it this week. I want to reframe it.
Talk to me.
I want to do reasons why you should keep Haaland. I want to bring that Haaland positivity. The good vibes, the Haaland good vibes are in here. The positives are his attacking data continues to be the best in the Premier League, and it's getting better. Genuinely. His, so I've got his per start data here. Non-penalty XG per start, 0.92 across the season. That is up from last week. Shots, 5 per start. Number 1 again, up from last game week. In the box, up from last game week, 4.5. first. Big chances, 1.7 per game, first. By the way, Isak has matched that in the last 6, though. So, just putting that out there.
Interesting.
But
He's
yeah,
even beaten it, isn't it? 1.75 that Isak had.
Or something like that, wasn't it? But yeah, regardless, throughout the season, Haaland is still number one for data. Even if you just go for the past 6 game weeks, he's still like number one. He is just non-stop chances. He is putting up better data than Salah, Palmer, Saka, whoever you want to say. He is doing better than them all. And if it wasn't for Haaland's price, you know, if you have an unlimited budget in FPL, Haaland is still the best pick in FPL, in my opinion.
Yeah. Also, he just scored a hat-trick against Kazakhstan for Norway.
Yeah, Kazakhstan.
Yeah,
They don't play Kazakhstan every week.
They're about to play Spurs.
Yeah, but how many Borats the Spurs have in their team?
About 11.
11 Borats. Yeah. Well, they'll probably be playing 2 Borats in central defence if Romero's picked up a new injury by the looks of things. Van der Ven might not be back. It's going to be a couple of Yakshemashers as Haaland runs through. I can imagine. But I think that is definitely a big point in Haaland's favour, is that he is about to face a Spurs side at home that could possibly be missing 2 of their key players.
Yeah.
Spurs not exactly known as a good defence.
Yeah.
Missing their 2 best defenders, 2 of their best players. I would say Van der Ven and Romero are genuinely 2 of the top players at the Spurs team. It's gonna be difficult for Spurs.
City haven't won the last 4?
Yeah, that's the inverse of that. Spurs are like the Man City specialists. They really are. They're
Spurs
the
have
anti-City.
already beat them in this 4-game run.
So what are we saying? We're saying that Haaland is right. Come on, we've got to be positive about Haaland. Remember,
Okay.
we were doing Haaland positivity.
We have to be honest about Haaland. You're right. There is a lot of positivity to be had. It's Haaland. He is the best, arguably best player in the league, right? Data-wise, he has the best data.
Yep.
We know he can score the goals. He can score for Norway.
Yep.
So that's not sort of in doubt.
Good fixture coming up. I know Spurs on paper doesn't sound good, but this is a good fixture for him.
For him, yes.
In this situation, this is good.
Yes. Inversely, he's got Liverpool and Forest after that.
Yeah, that's in the future. That's tomorrow FPL's problem.
At the same time, this week, 2 other premiums are playing very good fixtures.
Yeah.
So if you're keeping him, you're not going to captain him.
We're going to come to this, by the way.
Are we?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot for it, but there's a lot against it. Like, he's becoming more and more differential, and having Haaland actually improving your rank is interesting. But
De Bruyne as well.
De Bruyne is back
Still
too.
hasn't started.
Back too. I suspect he starts Spurs.
Yeah, I think so.
But
and that could be good as well. De Bruyne is typically good in those big games. I think he's a big game player, unlike some, Chelsea midfielders that won't be mentioned.
How many Champions League finals has De Bruyne scored in?
Don't know.
0.
How many? What, Champions League or European Championships?
He's never been. Actually, he has been in a European Championship final, hasn't he?
I have no idea, but Palmer has scored in one apparently, as I keep being reminded.
No, I don't think he's been to a final. But Champions League, no, that was a dig. He kept getting injured. So, anyway, Haaland, decent. Probably could be sold, though.
How mad is that we just said, Haaland, decent. I mean, he's fine. He's all right. This is where we're at.
It's just, I don't know. Right now, with the way Salah's performing, it's hard to keep Salah. It's hard to keep Haaland if you need him to get Salah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you don't have Salah and you can easily spread the funds, doing a Haaland to Isak.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of midfielders people have right now. Like, someone to Salah.
And Burmo's.
Nah, just selling Burmo, probably not.
To Salah.
Is that enough of an upgrade?
Madison, Diaz.
Yeah, if you got someone like that who you're more comfortable letting go, then for sure, make that move even for a hit.
Yeah.
But I don't think you have to sell Haaland.
For a hit.
I would do it for a hit. I would sell Haaland down to Isak. I think Isak has a chance to match Haaland over the next few weeks. And I think Salah should outscore, in theory,
Yeah.
certain midfielders. They
Yeah.
don't sell a good midfielder. They don't sell a Palmer.
One of these weeks, Haaland's just really gonna shut us all up, isn't he?
Of course he is.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Bad form doesn't last forever. You know, the best players in the history of football, everyone has a barren spell occasionally. Haaland's just so happens to be now. Doesn't mean this is permanent. But he has been a little bit off it. City in general have been off it. These are facts. No matter how good the data is, if City aren't performing, if Haaland is snatching at chances because the team in general is not going as well and the confidence for the team is not quite there, then we have to add that as a kind of asterisk on the data, if you like. But I think the key is if you can spread the Haaland money well, you can do better for value for money than Haaland right now.